Good morning, people. How are we all today? Hope you're well. Nice to see so many of you waiting in the waiting room. Anyway, let's have a wee look, see who's in. I see Desiree's in, Mark Telfer's in, Barbara Lansborough's in, Julie Brown's in, Aki's is in, Gordon Docherty's in. Sorry, George Docherty. Scott's in. Ange is in. Oh, that's Braveheart's here. I see Aki's and Ange and Desiree are arranging a party, folks. And apparently Ange's got the catering so to do and the cars. Ange, you should have spoke to me. I could have got you a bus. Cheaper. Anyway, who else is in? Hootsman's in. James Connolly. Eddie. Stephen. Wee Bud. I think actually you're off for the moment. Go back down. Right. Numbers are climbing nicely. We get a wee second more. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Luke Andy. Hi, Jim Soralpa. CL Sutherland. Kirsty's in. Morning, Kirsty. I was listening to Independence Live Radio or Indie Radio last night in Independence Live. It was no bad. Wee James show. That wasn't bad at all. Mind, folks, Independence Live is probably the oldest of the broadcasters for independence here in Scotland. With Kevin earlier. Been at it since 2012, 2013. Fantastic setup he's got. And they put out some right good content, folks. Have a look at their schedule. See if there's anything there that catches your attention. Okay. So I should be promoting Independence Live more because I'm a monitor on their network. So I really should be mentioning Independence Live more. But as you know, we're in indie activities keep us busy. Morning, Margaret. Nice to see you there. Sir Larry. City Flyer. Melanie. Right. Let's get this underway. It's Indy Truck Davy out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is overcast. It was raining slightly, but it's off at the moment. 13 degrees. Today's high will be 14, so that's why the jumper's on. Humidity is at 94%. Wind speed, the wind's it's gusting it up to 20 kilometres an hour or 12 miles an hour. If you're old school. And the pollen count is very low today. Okay. And the main allergen is grass. Now that's what the weather's like here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. You want to know what the weather's like where you are? Look who you're in, bloody windy. I see Reagan the Week's just dropped in. Enjoyed your wee programme while I was writing this one this morning, Reagan the Week. I know it normally comes after this programme, but because the Prime Minister's questions today, when you have 3 live shows today, your morning show went out before mine this morning, so I got to listen into it while I was writing this one. Okay, folks, it's Wednesday. That means the other David joins me. I fire the headlines at him, and he tries to make sense of them, and then I'll interject and tell you what they actually are on about. All right, so let's get into our man off the street and standing blankly in the supermarket, staring at the newspaper stand. Morning, David.
Good morning. The only thing I did read in the newspapers this morning, and I promise it's the only thing.
Make it quick. I'm not interested.
Lush are a company that do all the lipsticks and face of the lasses and all that, right? They've closed their doors today in solidarity with the people of Palestine, of Gaza, right? And if you go into Lush, if you search on them with your search engine, you'll find that they've actually got quite a cracking picture up there.
No, don't burn your arse in the candle.
All the shops are they've got the signs up saying we're closed in solidarity. Just one day, right? I wish every company would do that. I really do.
Aye, kudos.
Anyway, enough said.
Anyway, that's the last you'll advertise anything in my fucking programme.
I'm advertising a protest.
There is no advertising on the programme.
And I will advertise protest. Thank you very much.
Right, first up this morning, because I'm fed up hearing about manscaping. We've got the Scotsman. If I can find it. What's the Scotsman got for us this morning? Bugger if I know. Here we go. The Scotsman has huge increase in vacancies for midwives and nurses. Troubling figures emerge amid calls to tackle corridor care crisis.
Well, I've got to say, looking at previous things that we did, where you're talking about the immigration department for the UK, saying, "Oh, you're going for a job with the Scottish NHS? Well, we can offer you a job in England with regarding that." So the bastards are punching people who are taking it from abroad. End of story. Anything to do with that?
It's basically to do with the fact that there is 3,000 vacancies in nursing and midwifery here in Scotland. And you're right, immigration does play a big part, and as does Brexit. And one of the reasons why Brexit is being cited in reports as being a big problem is because we had equivalence in qualifications. So when people came for Europe to work in our NHS, their qualifications for Europe had equivalence, so there was no need for them to be taken out for a year to train. Whereas now, when we're bringing people in from overseas, they've got to get their certificates updated to get equivalence, which means they get to training for a year, and that's unattractive for people, so they're going elsewhere where they will have equivalence.
Of course. Okay,
and the company that David was talking about was Lush. Okay, and kudos to them, by the way. It's just I'm not interested in manscaping.
LUSH.
Right, so that's the Scotsman. Let's get it done if I can find the bloody thing. And we'll move on. Next up this morning, we've got the Herald, so we'll stick the Herald up. And we'll fire the headline at you, David. UK ministers offer to stop Scots jobs being lost to foreign contractors. SNP pushback on proposal to proposed change to business procurement rules.
I could hazard a guess at it. Go on, you tell us, David.
Basically, the Scotland office wants to take our procurement from the Scottish Parliament. It's a grab at the Scottish budget. It's a grab at Scottish power. And what they're saying is because we've stuck with EU rules on procurement because we want to rejoin the EU, we're still putting contracts or X amount of money out to international tenders.
Yeah, it was 50,000. It used to be £50,000. Anything over £50,000 went out to multiple tenders.
We're still doing it, whereas they've stopped it in England.
Yeah.
Because they're not likely to get alignment anytime. They're not likely to get back into the EU anytime soon. Whereas if we break loose and become independent, the EU has made it quite clear we're welcome. So we're trying to keep as aligned as possible with the EU.
To be honest with you, in the past, that was never pushed. It was pushed because my closed-circuit TV system that went into Catterick Army Garrison was well over a few £1 million. It did go out, but at the same time, it's like
Kill King, join Jeanette in the naughty step. Don't get me late in this programme. Don't burn your arse in a candle. Right, next up we'll get the Metro. Yeah, let's get rid of that one first. Sorry, the Herald. Next up we'll get the Metro. Charlie, you can't get done. Behave yourself. Where's the Metro? Why is nothing where I left it this morning? Here we go, the Metro. Okay. Father Ted creators fury at arrest. No.
Absolutely no idea.
Okay.
I know Father Ted is. I didn't know particularly who's.
One of the writers from the programme, Father Ted, had been putting out anti-trans tweets. So when he flew into Heathrow, they nicked him.
Ah, right.
And we'll get a wee bit more of that as we go further on in fascist England. Okay, let's get rid of that rag and move on. Next up after the Metro, we have the Telegraph. Let's see what nonsense it's got for us this morning. If we can find the bloody thing. Oh, it's where I left it. Good for a change. Okay, the Telegraph. Now, the Telegraph tells us Starmer attacks Met over trans tweet arrest. So the head fascist says it's all right to arrest people for anti-Israeli regime posts, but it's not all right to arrest people for anti-trans posts. That's how fascism works, folks. It's selective in who it targets. Yeah, you were never going to get that, David, if you hadn't read the story about the father Ted.
Is that a picture of Angela Rayner coming out of a car, is it?
That's her going into Downing Street looking like a rock star.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah. It's like, he was a single mother, and it's like, lived in rented accommodation, poor background, the rest of it, and now she's a fucking rock star. There you go.
A millionaire.
Yeah.
Right, let's get the Telegraph done.
Yeah. Let Labour for change, eh?
Aye. All the change out your pocket straight into fucking theirs and their pals. Started under Tony Blair in 1997. It's no stopped since. Right, let's move on. The Times. Let's see what the Times got for us this morning. Fucking typical. Okay, the Times. Reeves sees borrowing costs reach 27-year high, warning that budget tax rises will hit growth.
Well, to be honest with you, the public debt is rising, or used to be when I looked it up, was rising at £5,000 per second. So borrowing costs would reach a 27-year high. Oh no, it's now reached another new borrowing costs reach a new 27-year and 1 second high. Yeah.
Something along the lines. Of course, it is nonsense, but what it is, it's speculating on tax rises in the budget and how it will impact the economy. And of course, strictly speaking, it is true that it will see a slowdown in the economy because people have less disposable income, companies have less to invest, so tax rises will see a hit to economic growth. So for all it's a Tory paper, and the reason for the rise will come quite clear in a minute, David, when we get to another one of these rags, right? So, where is it? Down there. It's a factual headline. Let's say that. You know, it is. The economics of it are absolutely true. Hey, sounds like you set off a trend on talking about shopping today, David, in the comments.
Yes. Good.
Right, let's move on, shall we? Get the Times done, and we'll put up the Eye. Now, what's the Eye got for us today? This is a rerun of an old story that started in 1997, believe it or not, but I'll put it up. Oh, that'll be that's the background of the story, David. You might recognise it when you see it. Starmer plans ID cards for all to help stop UK boat migrants.
ID cards. I remember all the talk about this.
First, the idea was first floated by Tony Blair, that's right, and his Labour Party. And of course, the Conservatives fought against it right up until Boris Johnson wanted to start rigging elections, taking the poor out, and they introduced ID for elections. Now Starmer's claiming that if he gives us all biometric ID that allows the fascist bastard to track us everywhere, then he would be able to identify illegal migrants quicker and eject them. And that would be a deterrent for the boats.
Yeah, people poo-poo this, right? They think, there's no way somebody's going to track me every minute of my day. They don't. what actually happens is there's certain things that they look at as being certain behaviours, right? So let's say one behaviour was going into Glasgow all the time, right? You go into Glasgow all the time, then what happens is you get tracked. You get put on an exceptions list. And at that point, a human being takes a look at you and
Now,
goes,
let
what's
me
the
in this one.
yeah. So you have to remember these forms of tracking people is important to the British establishment. And we, as human beings, we need to avoid that like the plague.
Right, now let me explain how this to Reagan a week what the thought behind this is, apparently according to this rag. How does ID cards stop them getting in the boats? It doesn't. Where it is when they get here, they won't have a biometric ID. They should be easy to identify and eject, and therefore it could be a deterrent to people getting in the boats in the first place. That's the thought behind it. The actual idea behind it started with Tony Blair, and the idea is to track everybody everywhere. And they already started this with introducing the new banking rules, where they can track your bank accounts. So this is just an extension of it, and this is a fascist state in overreach. That's exactly what it is. Well, let's get doing, get that doing, get rid of the I, and we'll move on. Next up, we've answered, and we don't put it up, and it's on a sports and business story combined today. And this one, David, you would never get it anyway, but I'll read it out to you because that is quite self-explanatory. Brother-in-law's divorce cash search. The hunt for White's hidden millions. Husband of ex-Ger owner, sister wants equal share. So apparently the husband of...
White obviously got divorced, and the woman's going after the millions, the hidden millions that he had in his account.
No, it's actually his sister's going for her share of the money that's hidden in an account, because the business he started off with, which was leasing out heavy machinery, a SDH it was called at the time. They were headquartered in Bellshill.
Well, his sister had part in that.
She was an equal partner in it, and she's claiming all the businesses that grew out of that, she should be an equal partner in them as well.
Well, I take it to court, see what the judge says.
Well, it's been to court. They can't find the money. It's all offshored.
Right, there you go.
You have to go to the college, do the college run, funds for the bairns. Right, no bother, Geordie. Thanks
Thank you,
for coming in, mate. You're a star.
004 to give him his full name. I wish they wouldn't do that, honestly.
004. He doesn't even get a license to kill, poor bugger. Yeah. ID cards themselves are a better form of ID and should be issued to everyone free of charge, as is the case in most European countries. It's no the ID itself, it's the form of ID. It's the fact that they can track it in your pocket, Desiree.
Exactly right. At the moment, it's a bit disjointed, and the more it's disjointed, the better.
Right, next up should be The Guardian. Europe's response to Gaza has been a failure, says Spanish Prime Minister. Can you argue with that?
No, not really.
Right, the byline there is quite interesting, but UK hit by new sell-off in bonds market.
Oh yeah, here we go.
That will tell you why borrowing costs are up, folks. The Bank of England are having to spend fucking print vast amounts of money to buy back bonds at this point in time. So there's the explanation for the highest costs in 27 years. Right there in The Guardian. I tell you that make more sense a wee bit later, David, didn't it?
This thing that the Bank of England are doing, it's stupid, right? And yet again, I saw more ads in the papers or online regarding borrowing costs. Like if you're going to borrow so much money, they'll give you a special rate, right? Or if you want to lend them money, lend the banks money, so in other words, save, they'll give you special savings and all the rest of it, right? These are to get you in the door. right? They don't tell you what you're actually going to get in reality until you read the fine print.
Aye, true. And I see we've got a superstar in the audience this morning, David. Morning, Kevin. I hope you got the. Mr. E and I made a donation to Independence Live last night, Kevin. Hope it helps. Quite enjoyed the BGM show last night. Anyway, welcome this morning, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, folks, talking about Independence Live earlier. The man himself, the creator of, the superstar behind,
Yes.
Kevin, is in the audience today. All pay homage, please. Right, anyway, folks, the more interesting part in the Guardian today is the UK hit by new sell-off and bonds market. This is explaining why borrowing costs are so high. Okay, let's get that done and move on, because we only have a 30-minute slot and we've only got 5 minutes left and a few papers to go through. So next up, we should have the Looney Rag the Express. And this one, folks, is just an absolute disgrace. David will not quite get it because he can't see the subplot here, but I've read the article, so here we go.
Continue again.
Half of Scots patients struggle to get best treatment because of postcode. 100,000 lives at risk in cancer care lottery. What do you make of that, David?
I would say it's a load of shite. Excuse me. Go on then.
It's a UK-wide total. It's a
UK-wide, right?
UK-wide story being packaged up as a Scottish story. Right. There are only between 30 and 36,000 people diagnosed with cancer a year in Scotland. So how could a postcode lottery put 100,000 lives at risk?
True. Absolutely true.
It's a nonsense story. It covers the whole of the UK, but it's been targeted specifically.
So in other words, what should happen is that our devolved government should take the Daily Express to court over these lies and expose them for what they are.
David, is they aim the headline at the target audience, and then in the description and in the article they explain that it's UK-wide.
Oh, but the thing is, if they get taken to court over it, perhaps and create a bit of a smash, and all the broadcasting company, like, have you seen this? Scottish court are taking Scottish Daily Express to court, right? Blah, blah, blah.
But I'll put it back up for a wee second, because where you see the specifics in this propaganda is in the very first line and knowing the headline. Half of all patients.
Scottish. It's not Scottish anyway.
David, the point is the targeted propaganda making people who look at this headline think it's Scots is the top line that says half of all Scots. That's where the propaganda is in it. That's where the half-truth is in it. That's the bit that people have to look out for. And they wouldn't get it unless they read the whole article. They would think there'd be 100,000 people here in Scotland living a risk of life and death because of their postcodes. Because of that specific line, half of Scots. But half of Scots is 2.5 million. There's a lot of get-outs in their propaganda, David.
Yes, I know.
Right, moving on for Only Rag the Express. We have the National. Sometimes it's better than National's headlines.
Well, the National where their headline this morning is regarding Lush. Yeah, the one you're putting up.
No, David, that's their online headline. Their actual headline's in front of you.
Yeah, I take the National online.
I know that, David. So they are.
The latest one from this morning that I opened up.
Digital edition, David. This is
regarding Lush.
David, that's their online edition. This is their physical edition from in store. You're supposed to be in a supermarket. You are supposed to be in a supermarket, David Steincarry.
Right, okay.
Right, anti-terrorist group on activists, a scandal.
Please keep your fucking knickers on. You're okay, right? Seriously.
Right, now we've established that the online headline changes hourly, and the front page headline, the physical paper, is static for a day. Anti-terrorist group on activists, a scandal. Right.
That's to do with Palestine Action,
Yep.
and the fact that the lady judge for Dorothy Baines, I think her name is been asked by Humza Yousaf to stop picking up people for having Palestine Action boards or T-shirts.
Nearly, but not quite. This is the news that Palestine activist supporters are being hoovered up and arrested prior to the court case in the High Court down that road, deciding whether they should be prescribed or not.
Yeah, but don't forget, if they do that in Scotland regarding a court case that's pending in England, that doesn't work.
It doesn't say they've done it in Scotland. It just says anti-terror swoop on activists or scandal.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, it is happening in Scotland. Because Dorothy Baines being asked by him, the use of, can you drop all this activity against people that wear Palestine Action?
And the subtitle at the bottom there, David, the byline, you like this one. Police Scotland has questions to answer on why a silence surrounding Smith, and there's no probe into it the way there was into the SNP. Now, this is, David, I spoke about this yesterday. For some reason, there seemed to be a 15-day gap between us being charged and the Parliament being
David Milligan is calling.
Who? Alexa, stop!
It's David Milligan.
Alexa, stop! I'm not phoning Andy. Sorry.
the joys of tech, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway, apparently the Nationals doing what you normally do is ask where's the fucking tent outside Colin Smythe's house, you know?
Right. Yes, exactly right.
Well, that's what the Nationals doing there. But there is questions to be asked, David, and I asked about it yesterday after a headline. The headline yesterday was about a Guild Guides tour being given in Parliament by this guy.
Absolutely.
Charged. But the question before you ask is,
if the guy's already been picked up for doing something naughty, let's say, then how on earth does he manage to do a tour with Girl Guides? It's big as
the question is who at Police Scotland, the Crown and Procurator Fiscal Service and in the Labour Party decided that it was going to take 15 days to make the Parliamentary Management Committee aware of the fact that this man had been arrested.
Correct.
And how was it that this man was allowed to carry on giving tours of the Parliament 15 days after he had been arrested and charged?
Correct. Exactly.
There are a lot of questions here needing answered. The least of the questions is why was there no tent outside his fucking house?
What's the old saying? Don't mean it literally, but heads must roll over this.
You're no kidding, David. Heads must roll because somebody in the Crown and Procurator Fiscal's office, Police Scotland, and the head of Labour Department, Labour Party, decided to withhold this from the parliamentary governing body for 15 fucking days. Well, this guy was planting cameras in parliamentary toilets and taking tours of kicking Guild Guides in. Is that pictures of the kids?
Yeah, again, if you're doing camps, excuse me, but are you going to vote for? Are we going to vote for Labour? Are you going to vote for paedophiles? Oh, very good.
I think
Seriously,
it should be a little bit more.
That's what comes down to. Seriously.
Well, if we're going to go down the populist route to beat the populace, I suppose that's the way to do it. But as you and I know, David, this idea of a celebrity leading politics instead of policy leading politics is fucking outrageous.
3-word campaign. Labour for paedophiles. Labour for paedophiles. Labour for paedophiles. There we go. How's that?
So that populism might work on our behalf as well, right? Yeah. Books shut, books down. Cat's half my knee and stop moaning. He's on the table. That means there's only one thing left to do and let's pop up a star. So let's pop up a star and see what it's got for us this morning. This one's a cracker. If you're going to have a pop at a new political leader, this is how to do it. Absolutely brilliant. So take a trance on me. What a booby. New English Green Party leader apologises to women apologises for boob Apologises for convincing women that they've had boob enlargement by hypnosis. Now, Jack Polanski, I don't know if you know this, he runs a hypnosis clinic down in England, a hypno clinic to stop people smoking and all that. And apparently women who have been going to get breast cancer have been going to him, and he's been hypnotising them and convincing them their boobs are big enough. It would appear that the faculty of plastic surgeons are no pleased that this is costing them fucking thousands. According to this rag, he's having to apologise for stopping women for getting butchered when they're in his clinic. Because what's happening is he's talking to these people confidentially. They're telling them that they think their boobs are too wee. When he's hypnotised them, he's telling them your boobs are fine or your boobs are bigger.
Well, in actual fact, it could do the other side. It could make it whereby any men that come and see him, every female you see is going to have huge boobs. Right. And that's it. Job sorted.
John, thank you very much. And you're absolutely correct. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to it, Ross Greer's come out the fucking, out the trap flying, by the way. And he did a video on this category A week, which has just happened on the Clyde in the last couple of months, which the MOD are trying to cover up. The one we've already spoke about, David, was another incident, a previous incident. This is another one. Ross Greer.
The thing is with this, to all our viewers, right? Please remember that every time these subs, the subs don't just carry nuclear weapons; they are nuclear powered. The pile, the core that's inside the sub uses seawater to cool down. It means it goes through and it comes back out again. And it's laced with cobalt-60. And cobalt-60, there's no safe minimal level, there's no safe level in the human body for cobalt-60. And that has been going on for years and years and years.
David,
guys,
please.
Attack these buggers, really, seriously. I mean, okay, not attack them physically, you couldn't, but attack them verbally over the effects of nuclear waste being dumped into the Clyde. It is ridiculous. In the whole law, it's ridiculous.
David, please, we're out of time.
Right.
Now, the point I was going to make before you interjected was, if you've been watching what's going on since Ross Greer became joint leader of the Scottish Green Party, he's come out the block shouting about independence the way John should be. And he's talking about the best way to cure the problem of shit getting poured into our waters for the nuclear arsenal in the Clyde is independence. In fact, everything Ross Greer has said so far has been appended by the word independence. And maybe John needs to take a fucking look at what Ross is doing, pick it up. And to be fair, John has been right enough. Not quite as strong and not quite as in your face, but Ross is a wee bit younger and he's a wee bit blunt. Now, folks, that's all we've got time for this morning. We're back tomorrow morning to do the newspaper review. David and I will be back tomorrow afternoon to talk about some of the things that are going on in a wee bit more depth. Probably the problems with the economy that are coming down the fucking line will probably be in there somewhere. Okay. Now,
bye, guys.
That was blunt. Right, folks, need to go. Got some things today. I need to get a grip of a third charity in the borders because I want to move on. And folks, if you don't know, all the money that you see coming in super chats and elsewhere, it all goes to food banks. It all gets back out to charity.
What is that being for question?
No, it's just because we've got new viewers all the time, David. They might not know what we do with the money.
Right.
Okay. Right, folks, catch you all tomorrow. Bye for now.